A New York State Republican assemblyman who opposed medical marijuana was arrested and charged with unlawful possession. Now, this actually happened back in 2013. Now, you're probably going to ask, why is this relevant now? What's relevant is where this guy ended up. Now, this is a story of Assemblyman Steve Katz, who, according to law enforcement officials, on March 13th, he was pulled over for speeding. He was doing 80 and a 65, right? So he was speeding and was also in possession of a small bag of marijuana. Now, he was charged, he was arrested and charged with possession and ended up posting bail, of course, getting out. Now, what's interesting about this case is I had mentioned that he had been an opponent of legalizing medical marijuana. He had voted against it every single time it came to the floor. Now, once again, the New York Times also noticed that the Republican assemblyman also sat on New York's Alcoholism and Drug Abuse Committee. So here's this guy, very important position. When it comes to marijuana legislation, voting each time against it. Each time, each and every time. While then, later on, getting caught using that same drug. Hypocrisy, right? Now let's fast forward a bit here and get to where the story is actually super interesting. Now, after the arrest, this politician ended up flipping his position on the legalization of marijuana. He turned a new leaf, even joining the investor network of San Francisco-based marijuana investment and research firm called the ArcView Group. And now, here's what's funny about this, right? ArcView CEO Troy Dayton now describes Steve Katz as, quote, gung-ho about marijuana. Oh, the hypocrisy. It gets better. It gets better. Katz reportedly told reporters that for me, entering this industry at this time is a dream come true from a child of the 60s all grown up. But wait. So this guy, child of the 60s, all grown up, apparently loved marijuana, right? He was completely against legalizing medical marijuana. But wait, no, come on. There's got to be a reason, right? Well, he says that he was just looking out for his constituents and voting in the way that they wanted. No, of course, he's supposed to represent it, right? He's supposed to represent his constituents, even though he's always been in favor of marijuana. Okay. On that, he said, I decided to vote what I believed to be the vote of my constituents. The day after that, I told my wife, next year, I really don't care. I'm voting for medical marijuana because that's what I believe in, and I'm not comfortable with what happened. Well, of course you're not comfortable with getting arrested. Nobody is. I knew how I was going to vote, and I felt great about it. I knew how I was going to vote a year before the police incident. Oh, so he already knew. A year before he gets arrested, he's like, I'm in for medical marijuana. I know how I'm going to vote. Somehow, I'm not quite buying it. Not quite buying it. Now, I'm sure that he was just voting for the best interests of his constituents, right? I mean, that's what he says. After all, busting people for pot was just you looking out for them, right? Allowing people to get arrested for marijuana. That's just, looking out for them. And until, of course, it was you who got busted. Now, Katz said that the marijuana bust was an epiphany. You're turning me into a criminal? You've got to be kidding. Here's the translation to that. I can't be a criminal. I'm a white Republican. You're supposed to only jail black people for marijuana. What's wrong with you? This can't happen. On that, a few statistics here. About 14 million white people and 2.6 million African Americans report using an illicit drug. About 5 times as many white people use drugs as African Americans, yet African Americans are sent to prison for drug offenses at 10 times the rate of white people. African Americans represent 12% of the total population of drug users, but 38% of those arrested for drug offenses and 59% of those in state prison for a drug offense. Now, these numbers, widely available. Did none of that matter to you before you got busted, Steve Katz? None of these stats informed your different votes despite your apparent love and support for marijuana? Oh, come on, you don't believe that. And I love where he says, what? He knows doctors. That's what he says. He knows doctors, lawyers, businessmen, and pillars of the community who all use marijuana. And I'm guessing he's known them for a while. So why did he vote a different way? We're all criminals, he said. This is ridiculous. Yes, ridiculous. It's funny how you see these people as the pillars of community doing pot, and you're fine with it, right? Oh, I know the doctor down the street, Dr. Bob. Well, Dr. Bob smokes pot, but he's a doctor, so he's a pillar of the community. However, he votes against legalization anyway. He sees these people as the pillars of the community, and yet he votes against legalization anyway. I find that funny. If they were pillars of the community, such pillars, and yet did pot, why did you vote against legalization in the first place? That vote led to people not being able to access marijuana as a drug with medical benefits. Cannabis oil is actually shown to be very effective at doing certain things, at least as a pain reliever or an anxiety drug for cancer patients. And yet, nope, I'm against it. I'm against it. And it's also led, of course, to people in the African American community getting incarcerated at super high rates. And it's all for, the stuff that you and the other pillars of the community do. So why not legalize? I don't know. Blatant hypocrisy. That would be my answer. Now, he claims that the arrest he faced didn't actually change his opinion on anything. No, it didn't make me do anything other than make me decide that I was not only going to be a champion for medical marijuana and for its total legalization, I was going to become part of the wave that's building in the industry itself. It's a great feeling. It's very liberating. Tell that to the people in prison. I'm just saying. Look, maybe I'm being a little hard on this guy. Since now he seems to be doing the right thing. He seems to be in the right area. Maybe I should just lay off him, give him a little credit. Well, maybe. But see, I have a problem with hypocrisy. I don't have a problem with people changing their mind. But I do have a problem with hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy that pisses me off. He voted the opposite way until it was his ass getting caught. And like a lot of Republican politicians, conservative politicians, it goes by the mantra of, it doesn't affect me until it affects me. Maybe then I'll do something about it. Once it affects me personally, then I do something about it.